Have you ever been out into the woods and seen a bunch of deer? Imagine this. You're sitting there behind the scope of your gun. Adrenaline pumping as you go to pull the trigger. A lot of people believe that's all deer hunting is about, pointing the gun and shooting. But really, there's a lot of things you need to know and accomplish before going out into the woods. As you can see, hunting has been a part of my life since I was little, and it's something I've enjoyed doing. But nothing bothers me no more is when people cannot follow the rules and guidelines. Today I'm going to teach you guys a little bit about the things you need to accomplish and know before going out into the woods. Like, first off, it's good to know a little bit about the game you're hunting, which in this case is deer, and about the environment you'll be in. Next, we're going to talk about proper clothing and equipment. And finally, we're going to talk about the safety guidelines and obtaining a hunting license and permit. Hopefully by the end of this, many of you will change your minds about hunting and see how much precaution and preparation go into it before stepping out into the woods. First off, I will give you some information on the deer and hunting them. Deer mainly killed in this area are called white-tailed deer. They are the most popular game hunted in the United States, and there are about 11 million hunters each fall. Deer hunters not only deal with what Mother Nature throws at them, but also with the high instinct that the deer have. And inexperienced hunters have a little bit of difficulty filling a tag, but it's the challenge that makes hunting such a labor of love, as they put it. Inexperienced hunters, and as well as experienced hunters, should have many things to help many equipment and clothing that will help their experience go better. There's many things you need to have to help with a successful trip. When going hunting, you need to choose the equipment that best suits what kind of hunting you're doing and your personality. As for the weapon you're using, it depends on what season it is, such as bow or rifle or muzzleloader. Also, you need to pick equipment that best is needed with you, which should include a scent blocker. If you're using a tree stand, it's very important that you have a safety vest, a sharp knife, a drag rope, and maybe a cell phone or walkie-talkie for emergency purposes. And also, it's good to have food and water with you. You also need clothing that is preferably scent-free and camouflage, such as this hat here. As you can see, it's camouflage. Because the reason why we pick camouflage is because deer have an outstanding sight and sound, but they are colorblind. So they see in mostly shades of dark and light gray. But they can immediately suspect when something is out of place, such as if they can see your face. So it's very important that you have your hands and face covered, as well as having the actual clothing on. Now that you see that with your clothing you'll be difficult to see and to find while into your environment, so you need to know safety problems so other hunters can find you. In order to go into the woods to start hunting, you must obtain a license and know about hunter safety. To hunt a deer, each state requires you to have a license or permit, such as here. This is one for Virginia. This is what it comes in, and then it has a paper that has your name and where you're from and how many tags and stuff you're allowed to have. And the cost of each license goes to support wildlife enforcement, as well as to provide money for different types of conservation projects. And then you also need to make sure you review each state's rules and regulations, especially if you're hunting in an unfamiliar state, because it can result in you getting fines or them taking the game away from you. Hunting is rated as the highest, most dangerous sport on the list. But there's ways that you can go to prevent that from happening just by following simple knowledge. You must wear proper clothing. That will keep you dry and warm. But it's also important to wear a blaze orange vest, as some states require, so other hunters can help see you. Inexperienced hunters should also seek out help from experienced hunters or go and take a hunter safety class. Knowing your basic survival skills and knowing how to operate your equipment are the main things you need to know when going out into the woods. If you know those, you should be good to go. The hunting isn't easy like people think. There are many things you need to know before going out there. It's good to know a little information about what you're hunting and the environment around you. It's also important that you have the proper clothing and equipment. And last but not least, it's very, very important to know the rules and having a license so you don't have to face those bad consequences. Hunting isn't safe, but there are ways to make it safer than what it could be. To me, it's the most thrilling thing that I've ever done. People around the world say hunting is bad and it's unsafe. But as I've told you today, there are ways to make it safe. And if you follow those, it can turn something that you think is bad into something great. Thanks.